Hello everyone, my name is Zyna and I'm your host on The Waiting Room with Zyna. I am also the author of Zyna's Waiting Room, the book that gave rise to this whole program. Thank you, all of you, for all the love you've been showering, all the messages, DM calls, even WhatsApp messages I've been getting from different people encouraging me on this journey. This has been an amazing journey. And we decided to do this street edition to get to know what people are saying out there. So welcome to yet another episode of The Waiting Room with Zyna, the street edition. Today we are talking about another interesting topic. And we are asking you, what do you think? What do you think the society thinks about adopted children? That's what we're discussing today. What the society thinks about adopted children. We have gone to Port Harcourt, the streets of Lagos and Abuja to hear what they have to say. And all I'm here to do is to help you view this topic through the eyes of the society. So let's watch.
In this type of environment now, this type of place you are seeing now, it's very dangerous. You coming out to say, I adopted this child. It's not for you. It's not, maybe sometimes it's not for me. It's not for me. But the interest of that child, because most people in the neighborhood doesn't mind their business. They help other people to mind their business. You understand? I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. They will say it to the hearing of that child that don't mind these people you are staying with. They are not your parents. They bought you, they adopt you. You understand? And when a child is hearing that kind of a thing, it gets to the head. It makes that child have this type of thinking. So these people are not my biological parents, so they bought me. So where exactly did I come from? I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. Where exactly did I come from? What happened? What goes wrong? Where am I like this? Why did God decide? Some will go that. Why did God decide to treat them this way? That's why most people, like that, from my own point of view, I'm telling you now, they say they will just hide it. Like if I want to adopt a child from this neighborhood now, except I stay somewhere in Lekki, Banana Island, Ikeja, some reserved area, no need to hide. But this type of place, you need to hide it, because by the time that child grows up, that child will give you stress.
I really totally get what she's saying, people who don't mind their businesses. The last time we talked about adoption, I think I mentioned a story. I don't know if I've shared it here. I mentioned a story though about a friend of mine who, in this case, she didn't even adopt these children. Her husband had them before she came into the picture. The mother died after having the last child, and she came into the picture and picked them up and started training, raising, loving, nurturing these children. I mean, this woman, if nobody told you, you would never believe that she wasn't their mom. This woman did everything, and somehow she didn't have her own children. She tried, kept trying, but none came. But she kept on taking care of these children. Only for the son, because they didn't tell them, they didn't want to tell the children about the story behind them. So her first son went to school one day and came back very sad. She went to pick him from school, and he was so sad. And she was like, what's going on? He got home, locked himself up, didn't want to eat, crying. So she became very worried. And she asked him, kept on pressing until he finally asked her, said, Mommy, are you not my mommy? My friend was devastated. Like, where did you get that from? And he was like, so person in the class told him that his mom told him at home that his mommy is not his mommy. Like, so my friend went very, ballistic, called the school and all of that. And when they contacted the woman, you would think that this woman would be remorseful or something. She was like, not be true. I just told my son the truth. Like, is it your business? Is that your truth to tell? What will you be discussing with a 10-year-old to the point where you begin to tell that 10-year-old that his classmate in school is living with someone who is not his mom? What has that got to do with you? That is the society we live in. Now, this has nothing to do with this environment where this woman lives in. These are people who could pay school fees for a very big school. So if you can picture the kind of school where almost all the parents drive the highest, I mean the most expensive cars in town, it is not anyhow area. But that still happened. That brings me to my point. Why hide it in the first place? You cannot protect your children enough. Yes, this was not a case of adoption. Even the case of adoption, someone like that woman will still go ahead and run her mouth, because some people just are not mature. And you cannot do anything about what people do. You cannot control what they think, how they think, because you don't know where they are raised and how they were raised. Some people are just that bad, you know. It's a spoiled egg, it's spoiled egg. There's nothing you can do about it. But what you can do is to protect yourself and your children. That is why I say tell them when they are kids. Tell the children when they are kids. Don't wait for them to get to the point where people begin to tell them these things. Let them know. If you ask me, it shouldn't be a secret. I mean, in this book, I wrote about it. Funny enough, I wrote this book 2 years before I became a mother. And like I told some of you who have, listened to my story before now, I always had that feeling, write this book. The moment I started getting the urge to write this book, I started telling myself, it's better to write it after. Don't write it while you're waiting. Write it when you have your kid. But the administration I was getting was write it from the point of view of a waiting mother. And I wrote it down while still trying. I didn't know if I was going to be a mother or not. I was just trying. I tried IVF, I tried surrogacy, I tried everything. Adoption, tried it over and over until 2020 it clicked. So now let me read to you some of the things I wrote while I was waiting, when I didn't even know I was going to be a mother of an adopted child. I said adoption is a very important part of our existence, but most people are still struggling to accept it, even though it is one of the options I mentioned in the previous chapter, that is chapter 5 of my book. I chose to dedicate a whole chapter of my book to it. I can try to throw some more light on it, so I can just throw more light. Okay. I now said something. I said adoption is for the adopted, not for the adoptee. In this case, I'm the adoptee of my, adoptee of my daughter. My daughter is the adopted, I'm the adoptee. Adoption is not for me. It is for my daughter. Why? It is a service performed for the good of another. So if it is so, why should you do it in secret? Lie about it. Deceive yourself and the children about it. Why should you be shy about it? Why should you hide it? Okay? Why do you shy away from it? Because of what people would say. Why? Why would you do that? I mean, if you understand what this concept is all about, what do you care what someone else's opinion is, or if someone is going to criticize you or whatever? Why do you care? You are not stealing a child. You did it the right way. You have taken a child off the street who could have ended up a thief, a robber, or worse. But you have given that child a life that they will probably never be able to smell on the street. Why should you not be happy about that enough to categorically hit your chest and say, yes, I've done something good? So it is all about the mindset. Adoption is the highest expression of God's love towards us. So I think we should do it freely without putting any pressure on our expectations. Because when you start expecting so much, you begin to put pressure on yourself. Adoption is good. Adoption is for the adopted. You are doing it to better someone's life. So let us look at it from that point of view. When you have a rethink about it and you have the right mentality, all of these things will just be easy. People are scared because they don't know. When you know, the truth will set you free. So let's watch.
I think majorly is illiteracy. Illiteracy, the society where we find ourselves in. If you go to the higher class, let's say people that live on the island, Lekki,
all those highbrow places, I don't think they hide things like that, because most of them are enlightened, they're exposed, they've traveled out and all that. So among such people, it's not a big deal that you went for surrogacy because you have one issue or the other, or you adopted, or had a procedure, an IVF procedure. But when you come to, say, places like this, mainland, there's a mixture of all classes of people. Yeah, people will stigmatize you. And then you don't want to open up. You could go somewhere for like a year and then claim you were pregnant at that time and then come back with a small bouncing baby boy or girl. And everybody will say, okay, well, let's believe you actually gave birth to them. So, but I mean, all over the world, people are being encouraged to adopt. Even abroad, you have singles are being encouraged to adopt. How much more married people? So it's not something to get stigmatized about.
I would say it doesn't really matter where you live because, like the story I told you earlier on, the woman that did this, she wasn't living in a poor place. She was living in the so-called highbrow. But you can take a pig out of the water. How do they put it? You can take take the pig to the water and force the pig to bathe and all of that. The pig is still a pig. There are some people whose mentality they are like that. No matter where you take them, no matter where they live, they just have their own ways of thinking, and there's nothing you can do about that. But we're here to help people change. The essence of this program is not just to come and sit in your sitting room and disturb you for 30 minutes of your time. No, it's so that by the time you listen to me, to other people, there are so many things in your brain, in your head, that fixated ways of thinking that will begin to change. Really, seriously, because you hear people say the things that you have in your mind and you see it from another point of view. Definitely it will cause a change. So that's why we're here. We're here to show you that you can actually change your way of thinking, because there is always a better way of thinking. So that's why we're here. The question is, are you open-minded yourself about adoption? If you're open-minded about it, you'll be able to encourage people around you to be open-minded. But if you are not open-minded about it, you will not be able to do that. So we need you to be open-minded yourself, because this stigmatization, I mean, I don't feel stigmatized. You may think that you want to come and stigmatize me because I have adopted, and I have said it to everybody who cares to hear that I've adopted my child. But until I allow you, okay, I give you room to stigmatize me. I don't get the stigma. I don't feel it. It's not, I mean, it's like pouring water on the back of a watermelon. It doesn't soak, nothing. I don't care. Like, seriously, don't care what your opinion is about my adopted child. So as long as I'm in that zone and in that mentality, and I'm raising her to the point where she understands it, because I say tell them as a kid, don't tell them when they are grown up. Tell them as children, as little as they are. Begin to train them and raise them to open their minds to the concept of adoption, to the concept of orphanage homes, to the concept of needy people, helping people, to the point where you train them to know how to care for people and be empathic. There is nothing anybody has on you, seriously. So the question is, what is your mentality, your own mentality about the topic? Let's keep watching.
It's sad that some people are not mentally terrorists. They feel like these kids or these children are.
I like the way she started. She said it's sad that some people are not mentally there yet. She just took the words right out of my mouth. Mentally there yet. Will we get there? Yes. The only way we will get there is to get the conversation happening. And I'm here to bring that conversation out in the opening. I say enough of the stigmatization, enough of the secrecy, enough of the hiding. Okay? Let's get the story out there. Let's get this topic out there. Let us begin to talk about it. So many concepts that we now believe were in the dark before. because nobody was talking about them. But the moment people opened up and started talking about them, others started contributing, light started shining in such areas, and people started seeing it from another point of view. And that's why I'm here, to bring light in this dark topic. Let's keep listening.
are different. Oh, your mama and your papa don't die. Oh, your mother did not like you. That's why she threw you away. So I think that we should be more educated. Even in schools, these children, primary schools, secondary schools, your friends, churches, they should open people's minds up to know that adoption is not a sin. Because some churches preach against adoption if it is a sin. So it's not a sin. It's not you doing the wrong thing. It's the same way as you going to the hospital and pushing out your child.
You see, just like I was saying earlier on, it is all about the mentality. We need to talk more about this topic, and we need to open it up out there. So people are like, oh no, don't say that. When I say I adopted my child, don't say it, don't say it, don't say it. I'm like, why shouldn't I say it? If you go and have a CS, you can say that you had a CS to have your baby, You can actually say, oh, I had my baby through CS. You can say, oh, my baby came through vaginal birthing. And you can say, oh, my baby came through surrogacy. I should be able to say, oh, my baby came through adoption. We need to normalize these things. We need to talk to all each other about it in such a way that it is, as free as anything. And that's where we're going. Until we get there, the stigmatization will not stop. Because some people are scared of stigmatization. Because of that, they shortchange themselves. Imagine like shooting yourself in the leg. I don't want people to say that I adopted, so I will not adopt. Then where does that leave you? Childless for the rest of your life, and the rest of that child's life. Because you would have actually rescued a child from poverty and other menaces. So please, let's keep talking about this topic because it's really important.
It's sad that some people are not mentally there yet. They feel like these kids or these children are different. Oh, your mama and your papa don't die. Oh, your mother did not like you. That's why she threw you away. So I think that we should be more educated, even in schools. These children, primary schools, secondary schools, your friends, churches, they should open people's minds up to know that adoption is not a sin. Because some churches preach against adoption, they feel it's a sin. So it's not a sin, it's not you doing the wrong thing. It's the same way as you going to the hospital and pushing out your child.
To the illiterates and to those in the rural areas, they will maybe mothers in the villages, some will look at it as taboo, hey, they will gossip about. That is the local level. But when you live among the educated, it doesn't mean anything. There is no shame about it. Though they might not come out to tell you, I adopted this child. Do you understand me? They will not come out to tell you, I adopted this child. But you might have gotten the information, oh, they adopted the child, but that's your business because you are only prognosing. The children enjoyed whatever and they take good care. So it does not matter.
Because when you go to the Western world, they do that. People adopt, people do IVF, people do surrogacy, a lot of things, you understand, and nobody stigmatize them. But here, based on their own understanding and their mentality, that's why it's like that. But when you meet people they need to be sensitized, you understand? They need to, I don't know, some NGOs that need to go reach out to people and tell them that there's nothing wrong. Either you adopt or you do IVF or whatever. Nothing is wrong with it.
And that's why we're here. We are not an NGO. We are not a government sponsored. We are not even people sponsored. We are just basically here doing what we feel is the right thing to do. Okay, so we are here to tell everybody, if you want to adopt, go ahead and do it. Do not allow the stigma to stop you from what you want to do. Because this is a good act. Like I wrote in my book, it is an act of service to God and to humanity. If you see it like that, you will not allow stigma, as small as it is, to stop you from that blessing, because there's actually blessing in answering that call. Some people say, oh no, don't go and adopt. Don't worry, God will give you your own. Okay, fine. He has just given me my own through adoption. How about that? So if you say people should not adopt, they should all go and have their own kids. Who is going to adopt? Who is going to take care of them? The ones that are already here. Are you telling me that it is wrong for us to take, let's say there are 50,000 children in Abuja right now, and they are all ready for adoption, and 50,000 people looking for children, each person takes one? I mean, you can go on and have more children later, but you would have taken that child in and given them the life they could never have afforded. So that is an act of service to God.
But you see, in our country, Nigeria, when you tell somebody that I adopt this my baby, they want to use it to abuse you or talk to you the way you don't want, that you are not a woman, you cannot conceive. The most important thing is everybody should love his or herself. So if you adopt a child, it's not a curse. If you have yours, it's not a curse, to my own understanding.
It's very okay. It's just that it's individual differences, because some people, when they find out that this child is adopted, when they are talking, even when they are talking to you, they will say, "Shut up, shey na your mama born you. You know, no say na carry you come."
Most times the society, the way they treat adopted children is very, very unfair. Most families, those children that are adopted in those families, most times they treat them badly. They don't treat them well. So most people that, most kids, as example, most kids that are adopted, most times they don't put them in a nice school. They don't treat them well. They don't feed them well. So I feel it's very bad. I will not advise anybody to go for adoption.
It is not everybody that will have a child. Some people will make efforts by getting a child, but it has been testing that they will not have. So, but by adopting a child, it can give them a relief of mind and a relief of maybe it's their own personal child. So by adopting a child, it's a good thing.
I have seen a lot of children being adopted, some from my uncles. Well, the society actually view them in different perspectives. But for me, the few ones that I've seen and I've met, they really treat them well. They see them like their own biological children, and they give them everything they want too. I think that we should encourage it. Every children deserve the love and care and support from everyone.
I don't think it's even necessary to even let the relative to know that he's adopt child. It's between you and your husband. You understand? And besides, if you are the person that have been in city or far place that your people don't even know, you can adopt the child. You can easily take it to this is my first child though. It's just that work or this that keep me so long. I do not call to show now the so this is my child. So necessary, because at times people around, all these cousins and all these around them, they used to make those child feel bad.
Times are changing. Things are changing. I am from part of Nigeria. I'm an Igbo man, to be precise. Tradition is the only problem we are having in my particular place. Tradition. When a child is being adopted, there are some certain limitations. In the particular side I came from, the Igbo, particular side of Igbo land, like the chieftain, the Igwe title, when you are adopted, hardly, I've never seen where it has happened. Hardly you can become the Igwe of the community, because you are not a biological son of the land. But coming outside other tribes, I don't know. The society, we are embracing it, and I believe maybe within this our own time or time to come, all this will change. But all I know is that people are embracing it, and people are moving on with it. So to adopt, to me, is not bad, but it's only tradition that is still the problem we are having in child abduction. But time shall come when all this thing will be abolished. But I don't think that tradition will abolish, but at least there will be a level playing ground where we say The tradition will be there, this will be there. So nobody will now start to tell you you are adopted, you're a bastard or that kind of a thing. It's only tradition can do that. But apart from that, I so much believe in adoption. I can still adopt because tomorrow you don't know. The ones that you adopted might be the one that will take care of you in your old age. The one that you gave birth to biologically might not be the one. But I'm not praying to have that kind of experience. But I'm just saying, the ones that you adopted can be the ones that will take care of you at your old age.
At least those people who their parents dumped them, they think say they are not a human being. Somebody take care of them, you know. And tomorrow you don't know what the charge is to be. Maybe if it be something else. And it's good make somebody who knows child make it has, because you don't know how the thing you spend in mind. Because whatever he has, if you don't have children, you just come for this life, go back for nothing. But once you have children, your name can never end. Your name will continue remain in this world. But once you're not born, once you die, nobody will remember your name.
You know, in this situation, to answer that question in your mind, that I cannot hear you say, but I can feel it. We live in a society of different people. We live in a society where we interact with different people. And believe it or not, the different people make up the society, and that is why we are bringing this program. As long as you can watch and you can hear and you can feel what we're saying, that's why we're here. We're here for everybody. So we're not just here for the elites or for the educated, we're here for everybody. You know, so because these are the people that make up the society. And imagine what would happen if we started this campaign from the grassroots, getting people that are out there in the streets to understand and begin to think the right way. It will change our society to a greater deal. So that's why we have to listen to everybody. Let's hear what the last speaker has today.
You don't see where a child grows up and being hurt when you tell the child that the child was adopted, because sometimes they are looked down upon. Even when they talk, they are not seen as reasonable people, or like people who have family like that. And again, financially, adoption is becoming very, very. The last time I checked, that a friend of mine was trying to go to will for adoption like that. The money they took, although they were robbed on their way, but the money they took while going for the adoption was a very huge amount of money. So at least society, or should I say people involved in it, should reduce their hand in adoption, so that people can, at least if you don't have a child, they say when you want something and you're always close to that thing, the thing comes to you. When you give a parent that doesn't have a child like that blessings, the child paves way for blessing for other children to come into the family.
Let me start with the last thing that she said about adoption being too expensive. It is actually true. It is expensive because these conversations have not been happening. Now, I'm starting this conversation. Imagine when I started, you started, he started, that person started, and everybody begins to talk about it. The government would definitely get more interested in this topic. It has to be out there. We have to pressurize them, okay? Impress upon them to really, really get more involved in adoption. Okay, not just leaving it to the ministry to manage, but really, really getting involved and letting that conversation happen. Because if the government will put in all the checks and balances in this particular situation, a lot will change. And that's why we need to talk. So when we adopt and we hide and we shy away, who is going to start the conversation? This is why we need to talk about it. So the people who are saying we don't want to adopt because of the stigma, come out. Let's kill the stigma together. Let's make sure that there is no stigma. When we do that and we talk about it, we will get the government to do the right thing. When we get them to do the right thing, adoption will definitely come to the place where it's supposed to be, which is free. It's actually free government-wise, but you still end up spending money. Okay, so let's talk more about it and make it an open topic. Make it free. Make it easy. Let there be nothing, somehow about it, because people shy away from the topic. They feel like it's not something we want to discuss. No, We need to all be able to discuss about it, discuss it comfortably with each other. And when we start doing that and get it to be out in the open, we'll be able to come up and say, government, this is what we want. Okay, do it. And then at the end of the day, it will be an easy process as well for people who don't have kids to just go on and adopt. Even people who are single, who don't want to get married or who are not ready to get married, they can actually go on and adopt. Why am I saying that? Imagine the life I'm giving to my daughter. Now, let's say 50 people I know do the same thing. That's 50 children taken away from the streets. I mean, it's going to definitely bless this society and make us a better place. So that's what we have for you today. Thank you for watching. Thank you for sharing. I believe that you have subscribed to our YouTube channel, Zyna TV. If you have not, please just do it now. Yes, just do it now. And then hit that notification button so that you get notifications whenever we post our videos. We will always come to you on Friday, 7 p.m. on YouTube, on Facebook, and of course, we'll also share on Instagram. Don't forget to like, comment, and tell everyone you know to come and join us. Thank you so much. Like I always say, children are a gift from God. When you receive them, be grateful, raise them to the glory of God and to the best of your knowledge, and God will bless you. Thank you. I remain Zyna Obasi. God bless you.